Hey y'all, what's good? MidMorningSol back again. Capture card freaked out again. So I'm actually playing this over. Like, man, I lost, I want to say the next 30 to 40 minutes. Because once my capture card freaks out, it will not save the video it just recorded. So here's where I am, and yeah, unfortunately I have to replay it over. So the next like this video, I done seen it for the first time, so it's like you're not gonna get my genuine reaction. But truth be told, y'all, you ain't miss much. I didn't like give like a over the top reaction. It was just me experiencing the story. But because of this, y'all, I don't know what's wrong with my capture card, but I gotta see about it. But let's continue on. Just, you won't get my genuine reaction. Ooh, I'm so heated, y'all. I was almost at the end of Kaoru's chapter, but it just freaked out. So, yeah. Them's the beans. Everyone falls silent as we try to put our minds together to find a way in.
Enchante の皆が揃い踏みとは、やはりこうしてみると壮観だね。
Suddenly, I hear Mikado's voice echoing throughout the area.
その声はミカド。
Everyone immediately puts their guard up hearing the voice. But Mikado is nowhere around.
ミカドてめえ、どこにいやがる。
雫の影を通じて君たちに声を届けているだけさ。本体はもちろん本部ビルの中だよ。さて、君たちに会えたことは嬉しいが、僕と雫は少々取り込み中でね。できれば邪魔しないでほしいのだよ。
Mr. Rendo takes a step forward, hearing Mr. Mikado's calm voice.
ミカ
リンド、また会えて嬉しいよ。本当にね。琴音くんは君を救ったんだね。
ド。ミカド、お前と雫は一体何をするつもりなんだ。これだけのことをして僕のような犠牲者まで出してどうするつもりなんだ。
Silence prevails. Soon enough, a very calm voice resonates through the now tainted area.
そうだね。話したいこともあるし、リンドウと。琴音くん、君もこちらに招待しよう。
Just us two?
ああ、他のメンツは遠慮願いたい。内部に潜り込まれてしまうとさすがに対応が面倒だろうからね。
Ah, yes, just like the Red Sea parted. With Mikado's voice, a piece of the shadow disappears as if to signal us inside.
二人は僕の大切な友人だ。傷つけないと約束する。
ざっけんな。な言葉信じられるわけねえだろうが。
Damn, Ignis always stay ready for a fight, boy.
確実にこれは罠かと。
Everyone seems to be against this. Mr. Rendo suddenly looks up and speaks as if he can see Mr. Mikado.
ミカドは僕だけじゃダメかい。
Mr. Rindo? He isn't going there alone, is he? I want to tell him no, but Mr. Mikado stops me from saying anything.
残念だけど、リンド。僕は彼女の話が特に聞きたいんだ。大切な人が人外化した者同士としてね。
Now that I think about it, our situations are similar. Mikado also did, Mikado also said, Mikado, not Mikado. Mikado also said that he didn't want to lose his friend. I recall my meeting back at the park and made up my mind. I'll go with you. If we don't do something, this shadow is just going to keep spreading. You're Mikado's friend, right? If so, I think we can trust Mikado. Yeah, I don't know about that. If he was willing to resort to this, you know, I think he's kind of far gone from the Mikado we once knew. Just saying. I promise.
ならよし。リンド、彼女のこと任せたよ。
I mean, again, well, I've mentioned this before, but he doesn't have to have this hoodie on. It's in the company of everybody who knows about his transformation. It's not like the general public, so he could take that crap off. I'm just saying. I smile at everyone looking at me as Mr. Rindo takes my hand. We slowly head into the opening the shadow made, our hands tightly holding one another's. There's no one in sight in the GPM. Ooh, this look nasty. Ugh. We slowly follow the path made by the shadow through the reddish black painted interior. I don't see anyone. Today's a weekday, and even during the night, I'm sure a lot of people were still working here. Mr. Rindo must know that. We carry on our way with a stern look on our faces, eyes open for any survivors.
僕は今屋上にいる。雫もそこにいるよ。
We stop in our steps, hearing Mikado's voice.
けれどあいにくエレベーターは今止まっていてね。非常階段を使ってきてくれたまえ。
Ooh. So now I realize this is kind of like Final Fantasy VII, like when you storm the Shinra Tower and you have to run up, I don't know how many flights of stairs. But yeah, this ain't no different. We look at each other and nod and walk toward the door.
ああ。しかし階段で来てもらうとだいぶかかるんだったね。だからその間に一つ話をしよう。
Oh, how thoughtful, Mikado. Really appreciate it. Sure.
リンドウも知らない。雫が人外化した真実を。正直僕は権力や立場に興味はあまりないが、研究に自由が利くのは有意義なことだ。雫を人間に戻すためにより良い環境が手に入るならばと昇進の話を受けることにしたんだ。 その先、昇進した部署そのものがこの世の地獄とも言える場所だなんて何も知らずにね。
The GPM #2 R&D department. The first thing I saw after coming here was a non-human on a rampage inside of a cell. Rawr.
ようこそ第二開発課へ、帝明君。
課長、このシンガや。
ああ、そいつかい。危険性の高い第三種なんだが、同意をもらって我々の実験に協力をしてもらっているんだよ。
Objection! How in the world is a Type 3 able to agree? They can't talk. Type 2s and Type 3s are non-communicable non-humans. So there's no way he could tell you he can give his consent verbally.
同意？
That's not a word I would associate, or excuse me, that's not a word I associate with uncommunicable Type 2 non-humans. His words sound awkwardly vague, so I decide to probe a bit further.
この人外はどこから連れてきたんですか？なんだか妙に人間らしい顔をしていますね。
おお、さすがに第一開発課で課長を長く務めていただけはあるね。察しが良くて助かるよ。この人外はね、元人間なんだ。
That was easy. He said exactly what I suspected.
この第二開発課で開発した人外化促進薬メタプラジアを投与された人間なんだよ。
Oh, nice.
人外か促進薬。
それほど驚くことかね。君とて手元に人外化した人間を第一に抱えているじゃないか。
Now see, this is where my little antennas went up, because I thought not many people know about Shizuku's transformation and the fact that the quote-unquote doll is a non-human. But I guess these folks know about Shizuku's fate. He looks at me with cold eyes, to which I instinctively pull Ku close to my arms.
この第二開発課ではね、人間を人外へと進化させるという革新的な技術を研究しているんだ。
人外への進化？なんでそんなこと？
これは人類の発展と繁栄のためには無視できない研究なんだよ。君も知っての通り、人外というのは我々人間よりもハイスペックな肉体を持つものばかり。彼らのその長所のみを我々人間に移植することができれば、凄まじい価値になるとは思わんかね。
長所のみって
例えば人外の持つ生命力、これを人間に与えられれば病気の克服につながる。現代の医学では治せない不治の病や瀕死の怪我などの治療に人外の持つ要素は役立つかもしれない。それだけでなく、人体の一部分のみを人外化できれば、人体 腕力の強化につながり、災害救助に役立つかもしれない。だが人外の権利などを騒ぐ輩も多くてね。その結果は君も知っての通り。最も人類発展に貢献するはずのこの第二開発家は存在を隠匿されてしまっているのだよ。
No wonder. That would explain the disclaimer when I signed the promotion to keep all matters secret.
ここはこんな部署だったんですね。
ああ、おかげで常に人材不足でね。勤続年数が長く理念を理解してくれそうな人員を常に探しているんだ。副局長に君を推薦してもらえて本当に良かったよ。
So he's the one who recommended me to be reassigned here. I'm not sure whether or not I should be happy hearing that.
ここにいる人外はいや元人間はどこから連れてきたんですか？
研究に加わればすぐにわかるさ。ま、大抵は人外化も仕方ないと思えるような人間たちだがね。
I see. Like he said earlier, that means the non-humans here were terminally ill. Or are criminals. You know, the terminally ill, that's a different story. But criminals, they do have rights. I mean, it's up in the air, but to be, given away to be experimented on, that's a bit yikes for me. Unless, they are given the death penalty or something like that, because they could die from this. Then it's like, okay, well, whatever. But, just depending on the severity of the crime, I would object to, if it was a petty crime committer versus a felony. So the GPM is a government institution. Sourcing from hospitals and prisons is easy. I suppose they use undisclosable means.
しかし、長く続く研究の中でも知性を保持したままの人外化はどうしてもかなわないんだ。皆人格も理性も失い、凶暴化した挙句に対話もままならない。帝明君、君ならば無論やってくれるだろう。
I mean, do we have a choice?
君はすでに人外化した人間を所持している研究者なのだから。
They love to throw that in his face a lot.
そう言われては僕は何も言えなかった。人外のクーちゃんを手元に置いて常に実験しているマッドサイエンティスト。それが GPM 上層部での僕の評価だったからね。でも正直最初の説明を聞いたときはこれでようやく人の目を気にせずに雫のための研究をできると喜んだよ。僕はずっと雫を元に戻すためならどんな実験も厭わなかった。それがたとえ倫理から外れていたとして。 だからこそそんな僕は確かに第二開発家にふさわしいんだろうけれど僕は見つけてしまったんだ。第二開発家の研究に加わってすぐその禁断のファイルを。
After listening to the boss's explanation, he took me on a tour around the area before leading me to their library where they kept their data.
あんな物々しい説明があった割に今までいた研究室と大して変わらないみたいだね、クーちゃん。
I hold my breath as soon as I began talking to Ku. I noticed her eyes were shining. They looked like the eyes of a beast, ready to hunt its prey. She didn't react much besides when it was time to dine, but I look in the direction she was looking at to see a shelf of documents. I slowly head toward the shelf when I notice that Ku starts to twitch a little.
ここに何かあるの？
I grab the file she's staring at. The file was labeled Non-Human Sample Records.
これまさか。
Is this a file that is all the records of those that were turned into non-humans? If so, it may offer a hint on how I could make her human again. I hurriedly look inside the file. Case 056. Subject GPM Finance G. Selected due to legal infractions. See video file 110212056. Subject is a failure. Exterminated by Intelligence Division. Case 088. Subject Civilian B. Took a Type 3 into custody and was injured. See video file 110923088. Subject is a failure. Rampaged with a Type 3. Exterminated with drug dosage. Case 092. Subject R&D-R. Tried to expose number 2's inhumane practices. See video file 120823092. Currently under Akira Mikado's care, under strict surveillance. No particular results yet. Dun dun dun. This is Shizuku. Jeez Louise, I think I might have cut him off originally, but all that for 2 words. Wait. I tossed the file to the side and ran to a nearby computer.
映像資料12082309どこだ？どこにある？
I quickly search the files and find the video file. Video 120823092. I play the video. It shows Shizuku captured and injected with a drug that slowly and painfully changed her into a non-human. Shizuku was in a cell. Shizuku cried her name out loud. She broke out of her cell and devoured a researcher whole. Ugh. Her suffering captured in that video replays in my head. I thought Shizuku's failed experiment was what led her to turn into a non-human. But I was wrong. Case 092. Subject R&D-R. Try to expose number 2's inhumane practices.
つまり雫は人外にさせられたっていうのか。
She wasn't the perpetrator at all. She was a victim. A burning rage fills my heart. Shizuku was taken from me, and not because of fate or an accident. She was taken from me because of pure and simple evil. Okay, yeah, that would be hatred right there. Humans turn an innocent human into a non-human. Human. They weren't human.
人間の方がよほど人を外れたものじゃないか。
Mr. Mikado finishes his cruel and hopeless story. We're shocked. We frown hearing it. With the story fresh in our minds, we arrive at the top of the building.
来てくれて感謝するよ。二人とも。こんなところで申し訳ないけど、歓迎だ。
Yeah, it's alright, given the circumstance. The winds swirl amid the towering buildings. There stood Mikado, exhausted and ready to fall. Ooh, I hope you don't fall off the building. That would suck. Also, ugh. I like the doll form better.
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Shut up, Google. There's a peculiar non-human that looks like some kind of solidified black liquid. Is that Shizuku?
間違いない。
Yikes. Mr. Mikado's doll, Ku's true form is in front of us. Mikado's lover transformed, all because of the number 2 R&D department. Mr. Rendo's younger sister. But her form is so peculiar that it's hard to imagine she was once a human. Her face and her form show no signs of intelligence or emotion.
リンド、正直僕はすごくホッとしているんだ。君が理性を保ったまま人外化してくれて。君を助けたいという気持ちは本物だった。けどもし他の検体のように暴走してしまったら、そんな一抹の不安もあったのだよ。
Oh, that's right. He mentioned that all the subjects failed and went on a rampage, including Shizuku. Mikado nods to me as if he knew what was in my mind.
人ならざる者になる過程では、被験者の体は脳も含め、文字通りの意味で別のものへと作り変えられる。脳が変わるんだから精神構造も変わる。理性は削られ、より原初の感情が優先されるようになる。つまり
恨み、怒り、失望、絶望。人外化の際に抱いた負の感情がそのまま強く出るってことだろう。
Wait, so that's why Shizuku and the subjects went on a rampage?
ご名答。 だから林道が曲がりなりにもその姿を保ち、そして理性を保持しているのは、人外化への絶望よりも生き延びることへの希望、そして何より
Mikado shows an expression of joy and sorrow.
君という存在が強く起因しているのだと僕は踏んでいるんだ。
He lets out an eerie smile. Yeah, it's eerie, alright.
データも何もないただの直感。科学者らしからぬ言葉だと自分でも理解しているよ。その他にも僕の方で拒絶反応ができる限り出ないよう、実の妹である雫の血をベースにメタプラジアを改良したり、様々な要因が絡んでこそと理解しているがね。
Mikado's haughtiness and attitude as a researcher has disappeared. Instead, he looks like a completely different person as he gazes at Shizuku.
しかし、それが君の人外としての姿だとすれば、実の兄弟でも随分な差異が出たね。
何とでも言えばいい。人間をやめてまでここに来たんだ。お前が何を考えていようと。僕はここでお前を止めてみせる。
He still look good though. I don't know why. Cause the hands and the jacked up smile, but he still look good. The air stands still and fills with tension. It feels like the place will devolve into chaos with a slight move. Mikado smiles.
何を考えていてもか。それは本当なのかな。例えば君や雫が人間に戻れる可能性があったとしても。
Is there now? Because if that's the case, all this wouldn't have happened. Just saying. Huh? As if he expected our reactions, Mikado spreads his arms and gleefully begins to speak.
雫は他者の生命力を吸うたびに少しずつ感覚を取り戻しているんだ。
Okay, but then that would result in her having to kill a whole lot of people in order for her to become human again. We don't want that. So, yeah.
彼女は今まさに人間へと戻っている最中なんだ。そうだよね、雫。
Yeah, look at those eyes, y'all. Totally trustworthy. I can barely hear this child.
聞こえただろ。今までの何を話しかけても反応しなかったクーちゃんとは違う。もう僕の名前を呼ぶところまで雫は帰ってきてくれたんだよ。
Mikado looks overjoyed by his announcement. Horror, sorrow, suffering. Various emotions are flowing within me, making me sick. Mikado, you're...
先ほども言った通りだが、林道の人外化は雫の血をベースにした薬によるもの。つまり林道も雫と同じ、人の命を奪うことで元の人間へ戻っていく、そんな特性を宿している可能性があるんだ。それでも君たちは僕らを否定するのかい？
帝、お前ってやつは。
Mr. Rindo repositions himself. He must have taken it negatively. Mikado looks sad and in pain, but
何が不満なんだ、リンド。雫が元に戻れるんだ。彼女を殺したこの忌々しい組織を土台にして、優しくてバカ正直で真面目でただただ甘党で、僕との未来を語っては幸せそうに笑っていた彼女を、こいつらは殺したんだよ。
his hatred explodes. The shadow flowing from Shizuku's body begins to intensify. It's as if she's responding to his hatred.
僕と雫の何を咎めようって言うんだ。奴らは自分勝手な都合で彼女を殺した。そんな奴らに何のためらいがいるんだよ。
This child done lost it. Mr. Rindo bites down on his lip as though he's enduring a sharp pain from every word he hears. I can't begin to fathom what kind of visceral emotions they must be experiencing. But Mikado! But I know them. He loves Shizuku. His voice was filled with kindness each time he spoke about her. Even if Shizuku can return back to her human form, how many more innocent lives do you need to make that happen? Her shadow continues to spread. It's enough proof that the people inside of the GPM were enough to satisfy her. Yikes. Even if she came back to you as a human, Shizuku wouldn't like what...
分かってる。言われなくても分かってるよ。雫は優しいから、それで人間に戻ったところで罪の意識に苦しむのも分かってる。でもね、それでも僕は戻ってほしいんだ。惚れた弱みってやつかな。
Ugh. The reddish-black shadow overflows the rooftop as it slowly increases.
罪なら僕が背負う。雫が後悔と苦悩で嘆くなら僕が支え続けていく。
帝、お前はそこまでして。
琴音くん、君ならこの気持ちがわかるはずだよ。林道のためにその業を全て背負ってでも生きてほしいと願った君なら。お願いだ。どうか僕たちに協力してほしい。僕と雫と君と林道と人間としての幸せを僕たちと一緒に取り戻そう。
His words are sweet and highly intoxicating. Okay, y'all, so unfortunately, I'm gonna go with the choice that I went with before. But I'll give you my reasoning because the video freaked out, like I said before. Akira said in his story recap, I don't remember verbatim, but he said along the lines of, I don't care how inhumane these trials are, as long as it's to save Shizuku. Pretty much. So what's stopping him from using Rendo, using Katone, using more innocent people to get her back to human form? That's why I was just like, bitch, fuck you, you know? I'm like, I'm not gonna help. So yeah, we're gonna go with that. That's what I went with. We're going with that again. Returning Mr. Rendo back into a human, we can all go back to being happy together like it used to be. I want him to be able to stand in daylight without fear. I want to walk around the theme park lovingly holding his hand. I want to enjoy a wonderful meal at a gourmet bistro and stare into his eyes. Everything can be brought back. The offer is too sweet to refuse. But
悪いけど、その提案は拒否させてもらうよ、帝。
it was Mr. Rendo who turns his head away from the sweet allure. Mr. Rendo is smiling. The smile on his face is no different from before, even in his non-human form.
僕だって人間に戻れるものなら戻りたいさ。だけど、お前に協力するとは言えない。
理由を聞いても。
大前提として、他の誰かを犠牲にしてまで幸せになったとして、それを彼女が喜ぶはずがない。それに、人間と人外が一緒になったとして、幸せになれないなんて決まり事はどこにもないんだ。
He got some bass in his voice. It's not like he said a simple sentence.
その逆もしかりだろう。それどころか格段に可能性は低いというのに。そんな当たり前のことを。
そうさ、当たり前で、常識で、普通のことだけど、もう僕はわからないだけで怯えることはやめたんだ。
Wait, did I skip something? No. It just looked weird.